Coming to you from Studios 1162, Vantage Point starts right now.
Hello Eagles, and welcome to a new season of Vantage Point, where we see you. I'm Tina Dang, and sitting next to me is our new co-host, Kazia Cook. It's nice to have you on the team, Kazia.
Thanks, Tina. I'm excited to be here. And here's the latest news.
In an effort to secure more funding for the school, Cleveland's PTSA is pulling out all the stops by partnering with Mercedes-Benz for a luxury car sweepstakes. But some parents feel like it's sending the wrong message. Here's reporter Benet Sparks with more.
Raffling off a Mercedes-Benz may be too flashy, but the PTSA is hoping it will bring up donor participation. Some parents have addressed the concerns that maybe the stakes are too high, or maybe we won't raise as much money as we did last year. But the PTSA is hoping to try new things to raise us more money than we did last year. Cleveland's annual Red and White auction, the school's biggest fundraising event, is quickly approaching. Last year, the auction brought in more than $50,000 for the school. To up the ante, Cleveland's PTSA Executive Board has joined forces with Mercedes-Benz Seattle to give away a car. What's the catch? The group must raise at least $50,000 for the car to come into play. Phil Petty, a CHS alumni and sales consultant for Mercedes-Benz, has presented the idea to the PTSA for the past 2 years, but the group passed on the offer. You've been shooting this idea around for like 2 years. What do you think? Why do you think it'll work this time?
I think that this time we're better prepared. I think last year it was an idea, and as a lot of things, they come to truth once you think about them and we figure out a good way to make it happen. So the PTSA and all the folks decided that this would be a good time to try. We at least should try.
Not all the members are on board with the sweepstakes. Several members have voiced a concern, saying the car sends the wrong message about Cleveland's priorities.
We only raffle off a car if we sell $50,000 worth of sweepstakes tickets. Like if we sell $49,000 of sweepstakes tickets or less, there's no car. There's other milestones that people can win, like a computer and TVs, which is great. If we sell $50,000 or more of raffle tickets, then we give $30,000 of that money to Mercedes-Benz, and somebody in our group who bought a raffle ticket will in fact win a Mercedes. But it's only if we hit that threshold.
According to board members, Mercedes-Benz is offering the car to Cleveland at a discount, setting the price of the vehicle around $33,000. PTSA does not have to pay any money up front and does not have to pay for the car if they do not raise enough money to buy it. The winner of the car will have to pay the taxes, licensing fees, and registration.
Several people were expressing, that it's a positive thing that we can enter into as a group, that we don't have to sell enough tickets to sell the Mercedes. And I think if we even sold $10,000 worth of tickets towards the raffle, then that would be a benefit, and we'd be able to, do something for the school with that money. So I think it's I'm willing to throw my hat into the ring and just go for it too and try and sell tickets.
Despite parents' concerns, the board is moving forward with a contest. Their first steps are to set up a website for donations and to start advertising. They are hoping to have the sweepstakes rolling before December to maximize sparking interest in the contest by displaying the car at quad basketball games in the winter. The PTSA is hoping to raise at least $50,000 for the sweepstakes. The executive board finds it a win either way. The school wins money no matter what. This is Benet Sparks with Vantage Point. Back to you.
While some student athletes find it easy to juggle school and extracurricular activities, others struggle with the pressures of meeting academic standards while playing a sport. To help those student athletes, the new athletic director, Chris Bryant, has implemented a mandatory study hall. Here's reporter Molly House with more on how athletes are using the extra study time to get ahead. Molly?
Thanks, Kazia. Last year, the Cleveland Journal wrote a story about inconsistencies around game day attendance. Their investigation sparked district leaders to examine player eligibility, and they discovered some student athletes did not have the grades to be on the court. To combat the problem, Cleveland's new athletic director, Chris Bryant, implemented a mandatory study hall for all athletics.
Because student athletes are made to miss several hours of school during the season, Bryant decided it was a good idea to make sure the school is accommodating for that in other ways. Athletes are required to be in study hall for at least 2 hours a week on a schedule set at their coach's discretion. Students must have a minimum grade point average of 2.0 and passing 7 out of their 8 classes. If the student is only taking 7 classes, they must be passing them all. Bryant said the study hall is helping, having seen a significant improvement in grades.
Some of the biggest benefits that we've seen so far is in the fall semester, or the fall quarter, we had a cumulative GPA between all of our student athletes of 3.22, which is fairly high. We also had 6 teams that placed 3.0 or higher and earned distinguished and outstanding merits for the WIAA Academic State Championship pursuit. So we're seeing a lot of good returns with our study halls.
Although mandatory study hall is meant to benefit all athletes, some teams don't always need the extra study time. Ryan Castle, who coaches golf and boys swim, said the addition of study hall has not affected his golf team.
So the students that generally I've had on the golf team have been very high-performing students and didn't need the extra study hall. And they still came and showed up to the study hall that we had during advisory and lunch.
The football team has taken a more serious approach. Junior Thaddeus Driscoll, who plays left tackle, has found the study halls to be useful and effective.
It's a nice time to do homework and stuff, especially because practice is ending so late because the school day ends later. So it's hard to do stuff at home because we're not getting home till really late now.
Study hall, no matter how it's executed, is meant to support student athletes when it comes to academic goals and grades. We'll have to wait and see if it's working for the Eagles. This is Molly House reporting for Vantage Point. Back to you.
Seniors, the free application for Federal Student Aid, or FAFSA, is now open. Students should apply as soon as possible, as filling out the FAFSA form determines your eligibility for financial aid. Seniors who may need help with the paperwork should visit College Prep Advisor Don Lemans in room 1339. On Friday, October 27th, Cleveland held its first Last Friday Assembly to recognize students who represent the school's motto, Spirit, Unity, and Progress. Shout out to these students for being October Students of the Month. The next assembly will be on Friday, November 17th. Teachers should submit their nominations to Ms. Scribner by November 13th. Student-led conferences will be held on November 20th to the 22nd with an option for parents to meet on Saturday, November 18th. There will be no school for students on Tuesday. All students are expected to hold a conference and must sign up for a time slot through advisory.
Students, it may seem like school just started, but today marks the end of the first 9 weeks. Report cards will be going out soon, so make sure to get to the mailbox before your parents. And finally, congratulations to math teacher Hillary Patterson, who gave birth to a baby girl, Finley Noel, on September 30th. Patterson is on maternity leave for the remainder of the year. Edson Kalaunen is serving as her long-term substitute.
Hello Eagles! We're excited to introduce our new segment, Nest Eggs. We'll be hitting you with Cleveland trivia and test your knowledge about the school. I'll give you a question and I'll come back later in the broadcast to give you the answer. Here it comes! In 2007, Cleveland reopened after undergoing a $63 million makeover. A second building and a new gym was added to the campus. The renovation increased the school's capacity from 783 to 1,000 students. During the renovation, Cleveland students had to move from another school in the area. What school did CHS students move to while the campus was being renovated? Here's a hint. Students were moved from October 2005 to September 2007. We'll give you the answer after the weather forecast.
Thanks, Andrew. Although it was just raining, it's sunny now. Oh wait, it's raining again. It looks like the weather will be changing for the rest of eternity. Back to you.
Thanks, Teeny. Here's the answer to our nest egg. During the renovation, Cleveland students were moved to the old Louisa Bourne building in West Seattle on Del Ridge for the 2 years it took to complete the new school campus.
You're watching Vantage Point!
Hey Eagles, I'm Wen Eckelberg and this is Squaw! I'm keeping my family legacy alive by bringing you all the sports highlights from each season. Shout out to all the athletes who repped Cleveland during fall sports. The season was full of highs and lows, but before we jump into winter, let's dig into some of your fall highlights. That was a really good chest pass, by the way.
Football went from barely scoring a touchdown at the beginning of the year to putting up almost 80 points in the last 2 games. The Eagles are definitely on the right track, but they'll have holes to fill with the loss of seniors Chris Shekels, Jalil Breland, and Josiah Marks. Jalil Breland won Sound Division MVP. Volleyball finished with a record of 4-12 after only getting 1 win each in the previous 2 seasons. They're a young team and show potential to build for the future. Shout out to senior Monique Bungai and me for making the All-Metro second team. This was Bungai's first season back with the team since her freshman year.
We're filthy.
Cross country represented strong on the academic side. Both the boys and girls teams finished high in the academic state championships. Even though we didn't bring home the title this year, we are proud of their accomplishments and growth in the classroom and on the field. Shout out to Quinton Lowe for placing first in the Nike Hole in the Wall Invitational. Girls soccer finished the season with a highlight by tying Chief South 3-3, a huge accomplishment after losing to the same team 8-0 early in the season. Girls swim had a solid season, finishing the regular season with a 4-3 record and the second best record of all of the non-public schools in Metro League. 8 girls swam in the District 2 meet last weekend. After losing 14 seniors, Boys Ultimate was determined to not let it hold them back. The Eagles dominated early in the season with a 6-0 run, but a loss to Ingram sent them on a losing streak. The Eagles failed to make it past the first round of playoffs and finished with a 13-5 record overall.
Golf had a rough season, but Coach Ryan Castle is optimistic they can get a couple golfers into the Metro Tournament next year. The team also received an anonymous donation from an alumni that will go towards buying the team new uniforms next season. The winter sports season officially begins December 1st when basketball teams travel to Garfield. This is Wen Eckelberg for Squaw! Back to the studio.
Well, that's it for our first episode. It's been a pleasure for us to see you from this vantage point.
But before we go, we want to remind you that school will be closed November 23rd and 24th for the Thanksgiving holiday. Until next time, I'm Kazia Cook.
And I'm Tina Dang.
Stay fly, Eagles,
And keep soaring on.
Oh my God, I just finished my first episode of Vantage Point. Let's take a selfie.
Yes, we should.